What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Fannounce Table edition of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me, as always, are Robert E. Felice.
This is probably the last Money in the Bank I remember enjoying.
And Callum Wiggins.
Hello there. I don't remember Money in the Banks enough to know if I enjoyed this one or not.
Money in the Bank is a concept that I very much just sort of blend a lot of these things together. Like, I love Money in the Bank, but if I watch any particular match, like we tend to do every single year, a lot of times I'll go through and I'll go, that match wasn't really all that fantastic, or this didn't turn out to be, the best Money in the Bank cash in the future, but the match was good, or it's kind of different each time around. And right now we're going to go back 10 years ago to the 2013 Money in the Bank red briefcase ladder match. This was the All-Stars ladder match. That's what they classified it. It was for specifically a WWE contract, or WWE Championship contract, I should say. This is back when they used to not have the women's match, so they only had, originally it was the one Money in the Bank match. They decided to split it up, have like a Raw and SmackDown exclusive thing, and then eventually they said, that's kind of dumb. We can have a little bit more flexibility and play around with it a little bit better. Then they created that gold case, which was my absolute favorite. I still don't like this green one that they have now. The women's look so much better. But this All-Stars ladder match is featuring a bunch of people that had been WWE or World Heavyweight Champion before, and the concept was one group is going to be people who have been champion, one group is people who haven't been champion. We've already watched the Damien Sandow one, so go back in the past, check out in the archives a previous episode of that. This one is more so, it's got Christian, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, and Sheamus. And Kane was supposed to be in this, but they did an angle ahead of time of writing him out of it. So that's the group we're working with. It's Money in the Bank ladder match for WWE Championship contract. This was in the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. So, my local, used to be my local arena, July 14th, 2013. We are on June 14th, 2023. So we're close. And if you don't know how the whole setup works when it comes to this with, the idea of watching this and the podcast and all that stuff, what we do here is we can't give you the actual match itself on the screen because we would end up getting copyright strikes and all. So instead, what we give you is a time code. Now, this time code is for the Peacock side of it, 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 2 seconds in. For the WWE Network, for anybody who's outside of the United States and they're using the proper better WWE Network, according to Callum, that is 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 50 seconds in there. What you should be having on your screen is a black screen immediately following a Wyatt family video package. And it's going to fade into the red Money in the Bank briefcase that it's hanging. And it's, if you're watching on YouTube, it's the still image that I have up on there. I like to kind of put the still image of this is where we're going to be picking up where we left off. So we're going to give you a countdown of 3, 2, 1, play. And when I say play, all of us are going to hit play on our Peacock and WWE Network. Whatever you're listening to this on, whatever you're watching this on, whatever it might be, you go ahead and you hit play too. And you should be able to sync things up correctly and, effectively just watch it along with us the same way as if we would have had this on the screen. It's a little bit less efficient, but it's the best way we could possibly do it. Shout out to anybody who's been following along with these things for a while, and shout out to the newcomers too. We had someone recently popping up on Fanboys Anonymous that had been just randomly discovering, I think he had started with either the DC animated stuff or the Scooby-Doo stuff that Rob and I had done.
Definitely the animated watch-alongs, and very nice comments, and
saying oh, this is great. This has been legitimately feeling like watching this with a bunch of friends and everything. And that's exactly the vibe that we're going for.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's always nice to know that your work is actually touching someone.
In a good way.
It's also amazing that we can fake that we're friends.
Shut up. Yeah, so on top of letting us know things like that, leave your thoughts in the comments below and tell us anything else that you want to tell us. Keep the discussion going. And of course, if you are over there on YouTube, make sure that you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Double check that you are subscribed. And ring that little notification bell. That way you get these email alerts of when we go live for things like the pay-per-view point post shows and these random mock drafts that we might do live, or and we want to try to do some more things that are live in the future, like even a live Fannounce Table or some more live hot tags. And we haven't done a mailbag in a while, so maybe we'll do something along those lines. Maybe we'll just continually factor that into the hot tags. I don't know. But point being, if you got that all set up, then that way, if we do go live, you'll get an alert instead of just being like, my God, I didn't know that these guys went live earlier today and I could have joined in or something. So there's also the join button. Now that button is one of the ways that you can monetarily help sponsor us and keep the lights on here and all. And it's the same thing as the Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/smarkoutmoment, the only difference between the two is that on YouTube with the channel membership there, you can actually see the videos. So if we do the mock drafts or we do the fantasy booking or whatever, you can see like the spreadsheets we put up and whatever, and time codes for the Fannounce tables. I personally think that it's a better option, but some people like Patreon better. Whatever it might be, you pick and choose. And if you just want to toss a little spare change our way, there's a little thanks button that's up on there too. Pick up some merchandise on Redbubble and TeePublic. And there you go. Those are the plugs out of the way, which means that we are pretty much set to go. It's always more complicated for me to have to click on a bunch of things. So I am going to switch over the one part of my screen to the All-Stars image. So that way I don't have three things to click at the exact same moment. And get that all screwed up. But I am ready to go. I think Rob's ready to go. I think Callum's ready to go.
Yes, we're always ready.
So that means that if you are not ready to go, well, you need to pause this because we're going to get started. Now remember, it is 3, 2, 1, play. You hit play when I say play. All right, so get your popcorn or whatever ready if you're going to be doing that. It's not a super long match, but, popcorn's great, so go ahead and do that. And get yourself set up because we are getting started in 3, 2, 1, play. I'll tell you when
you say it's not a particularly long match. I think it's one of the longest Money in the Bank ladder matches ever.
Yeah, it's not like, the Royal Rumbles that we do.
No.
So it's a welcome home RVD. There's RVD's music just hit. He is one of a kind.
So this is the return of Rob Van Dam to WWE after his fairly lengthy stint in TNA, actually.
This was so, I remember this is right at the time where things are going downhill, but it was a lot better at this point than it had been just a couple years previous. I was very excited about a lot of what was happening in WWE at this time.
Everything from the 2006 range up until around the Shield sort of blends together to me. I never really can tell, was Sheamus champion in 2008 or was he champion in 2011? That spinner belt Del Rio, Sheamus, Punk, Orton era, it all seems the same to me. So I have no context of 10 years ago, this was this instead of, who else is on the roster, who else is kind of hanging around.
Shield's been around for almost a year. So this is right where everybody's kind of finding their groove again.
Get Justin Roberts doing the announcing as well.
It's going to get a little nervous when Daniel Bryan comes out, just in case he gets choked again. I like the nickname the Dapper Yapper that they were using in AEW. A little Sabu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sabu like recently popping up in AEW. I mean, 10 years later, he just goes, hey, I'm...
Speaking of.
Yeah. We got ourselves Christian Cage here. Just Christian in WWE. I like that better than Christian Cage.
It's quite an interesting dynamic because obviously we watched the previous match that they did on this show in a different Fannounce Table. And that was all heels. These are all baby faces at this point in time.
Oh, they are? Not even like
Yep.
Punk or Sheamus? Or Orton,
Not it.
for that
Sheamus
matter?
Sheamus is far baby face at this point. This is post him the 28-second match.
This is like the annoying
18-second match.
Sheamus. This is like super baby face. One of Cena's friends.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they did to Drew McIntyre after the championship reign. Which turned him into a comedy character.
This is right as Bryan starting to get super crazy over because he was like just embracing the yes again, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
this is Shucky Ducky Quack Quack sign in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, this is 1 month off of him winning the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, so.
Which was a weird build, by the way, which was literally just John Cena wants to fight Daniel Bryan, so he picks him.
I've seen stupid reasons for championship matches to be awarded. It's quite weird, isn't it? Though realistically, we've got this is like these are like all stars. So basically, like your older top guys that have been champions for age, have been champions multiple times before. All of them are still wrestling.
Well, Kane isn't, but he's not in the match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kane obviously. Yeah, Kane wouldn't be, but
he's not like he was written out of the match, so he doesn't really count.
Strangely enough, the guy that's probably closest to retirement is this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the strange thing to me is that we've seen Bryan and Christian. They were both retired for a good 7 years apiece.
And then Punk was out for so long, and well, RVD's not wrestling anymore, right? He didn't pop up in it. He is.
He does.
He wrestles in Indies,
Oh, good for him.
He's not like wrestling every week or anything, but he does still show up at Indies. Obviously, he can't wrestle in WWE and presumably AEW anymore because they're just worried that one more concussion and he's going to go out.
RVD trying to reach the Money in the Bank briefcase by just jumping. That would have been great if he would have touched it. Then they would have been like, yeah, it's going to be a lot harder for us to justify them not climbing up.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Oh, it's the Lobster Head song.
Yeah.
Philadelphia does not like Sheamus.
No, I don't think many people did at this point. Oh, yeah, this is the fella shouting as well.
Like, it went from noise to silence so quick.
I do enjoy the fact that Sheamus is just like beloved now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loves Sheamus now.
It took me a while to come around to him. I mean, I remember hating him at first and just being like, I don't see why this guy is being champion already. I think that he's being pushed way too far, way too fast. And it took years for me to be like, okay, I'm okay with him being a former champion. And then it took a couple more years for me to be like, yeah, you know what? That guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Here's the man that dominates all wrestling headlines today.
Still. I liked this look for him. We're gonna see the Wolverine look, for lack of a better term.
I mean,
paid the CCM Punk.
Yeah. This is very much a Punk that's going through the motions probably at this point.
Yep.
I mean, he has that great match with Lesnar at SummerSlam after this, so.
I like that they've got the take a look at the Titantron, how they have the Money in the Bank briefcase kind of thing on the top of it. I like that.
He does not. You can tell when Punk is happy, and you can tell when he's miserable.
Well, to be fair, like it's easy to tell when he's happy because that's like 3% of the time.
When you can't wipe the smile from his face, and then when he's not feeling it, you can't get him to appear like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, you can see like a bit of like shrunken shoulders a little bit, like he's just like half-heartedly climbing up.
He's like, people get me excited here. Come on.
Yeah. Please, I need you to get me through this.
Mm-hmm.
So I've probably got Mercer or something.
Yeah.
God, they were all pretty much out of here real quick after this. Within a year, 4 of these guys would not be wrestling.
Bryan's was a little bit longer than that, wasn't it? It's like 2015 was when he retired.
Well, true, but within a year he was already on the shelf with his first injury.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny to look back and go, these are the all-stars, the only all-stars that we're putting in this match. And only 2 of them are still in WWE, and one of them's been out for months.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, the all-stars of a guy who's on the Indies and 3 AEW people.
Yeah.
Yeah. RVD's got the biggest amount of fans, but I mean Philly, so that makes sense.
I always like to think about like what would have happened if like a company like AEW was around at this point in time. Like who would be where? Oh, I didn't realize it was. Oh, actually, it's 1 babyface and 5 heels. Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if Punk would have left earlier, or if maybe the S movement wouldn't have kicked on, and maybe Bryan would have been out too, or
I think if AEW existed, I don't think the Shield would be there. I think Roman might, but I think Tyler Black would have just went to AEW.
Probably, and Moxley might have too.
They're just taking one person at a time, it looks like, at the moment. But
all right, these 4 can have matches.
Yeah.
Now, who decides on who's the next target for the 3-on-1?
Orton's the next biggest guy.
That's what I would say.
Oh, but now
that's what I said. I said, yeah, these 4 can probably square off. I would have squared off the other way, but
yeah. Well, it's like you could have just done like surely, hopefully, at some point in this match they play back to the Christian Randy Orton rivalry at some point. Literally, match. I think it's one of the greatest rivalries in WWE history is Orton and Christian.
You got to set up this potential match for the future. It didn't really end up happening. You got to set up the Orton and Bryan stuff.
The previous year it had happened all summer.
Yeah, people forget because obviously Punk was champion and so therefore he wasn't main eventing any shows. But yeah, he wrestled Daniel Bryan at
I completely forget. Wow.
At Over the Limit and Money in the Bank with AJ being the referee.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
And a triple threat with Kane in the middle. They fought all summer long.
Yeah.
There's probably reviews of me out there. I mean, there should be. I mean, that would be well past the point that I had already started doing the website. So somewhere out there past me likes or hates or thought it was okay. Well, that wasn't the plan.
Nelly slipped.
What does current you think about past you?
About the 10 years ago? Or what'd you say?
2013. What does current you think about 2013 you?
Do better.
Babyface Randy Orton gives no fucks, and I love it.
He's more just fun when he's babyface, but he's better when he's heel.
Yeah, character-wise, he's much better at pulling off a heel, but he does do those things like, he'll hit an RKO and then do a jumping split because he's so happy about it. He can't do that as a heel.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Never liked this scratch WWE logo.
Get your fucking hands up when you're in there with RVD. Christ.
There's a We Want Dr. Shelby sign.
He was super over at that point in 2012. Like, everyone loved Dr. Shelby.
Now you get to do the RVD thing.
Yeah.
Shrug. God, even back then, we had the green shirt, tan hat guy.
Christian.
Poor Todd Grisham. The one thing that he does that's going to, for the rest of his life.
Oh, going to take a bit of a bump here.
That's really impressive.
RVD is not somebody who's really known for, like powerlifting strength type feats.
Kind of was in ECW when most of the guys were smaller than he was.
Yeah, different story. You go to WWE, the land of the giants, and you're not able to toss people around it quite as much.
Yeah.
This isn't Royal Rumble. You don't have to worry about this.
Yeah.
This RVD people in the crowd. The guy keeps not putting up the V, so it's just RD.
I was going to say, I wonder Randy the back is fucked up today. She was going to take that. Who brought the step ladder out? Why were step ladders now a thing in Money in the Bank for a while?
Yeah, I don't know, because this little thing's not going to...
It's funny because small penis.
You think that they're overcompensating with those ladders?
Yes.
They
only
give
only a real man uses a tiny ladder.
They give Christian a mini ladder and a blue dot. All shapes and sizes. Yep, all different shapes of ladders, right?
Yeah.
It's like a rhombus one.
Really? I mean, I guess I kind of should expect it to be a bit like this because it's a bit like slow going. But then again, these are all the main event guys. They would work probably a bit slower.
Yeah, they don't have to do as much flippy stuff to make a name for themselves in this match.
Which is crazy is that, like, a lot of these guys are like old tenured guys. It's just like, again, these guys are all for the most part still wrestling. It's like nobody ever retires.
You have to be dead.
Yeah, even people that say they're retired will eventually come back.
Yeah, this year's Money in the Bank is going to be won by Terry Funk.
I'm not loving this year's Money in the Bank lineup.
No,
we'll get there.
It's very weak.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's quite interesting that obviously it definitely doesn't have this star power, but we are watching a 6-person one, and it's going to be a 6-person Money in the Bank for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, they've been.
Fuck!
That was a stiff shot.
Yeah. Is this the first time 6-person Money in the Bank since this match happened?
Probably.
I know there was after this. There was some after this one. There was the one with like Rollins one, the 6-man one, and a few other ones as well.
Yeah, but they really got into a groove with making it 8. So I don't know why they kept that at 6 this year. Ooh, that's not good.
Jesus Christ. That was a bad landing.
You can tell his life's flashing through his eyes right then. He's just like, did I get injured? Am I okay? Yeah, these RVD people, if you're going to take one letter to a multiple letter type sign thing, coordinate. We just get like RD, and then we get like R.
RVD 420.
Yeah, an RVD 420 sign. Man, I don't even like standing on like a chair, let alone standing on ladders.
Ooh.
Let alone, I wouldn't do any of this kind of crap.
Oh shit.
Sheamus doesn't do that move very much anymore. But to be fair, that's probably for the best with his neck issues.
Meanwhile, the three of us are sitting here. I sneeze and I feel like I pulled something.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
He's sweating so much. I don't think he sweats this much anymore. Oh, he's trying to do the spot that he did for Sin Cara.
He's gonna Sin Cara him.
He's gonna Sin Cara him. See, this I like when they do, like, Sheamus just set this up and then he's about to toss him in there. I hate it when they have, and they do this constantly. Like, Sheamus will set that up and then just go to the completely opposite side of the ring and start doing other stuff because he's just setting it up for somebody else, you know? I hate that. And they get into that trope so much on ladder matches where it's like, suspension of disbelief, guys. Come on. Why is somebody setting up a ladder in some kind of complicated, this is interlocked with another thing, whatever, for no reason other than 3 minutes from now, somebody's going to jump off of it.
It's just what you have to do these days to get people excited.
Or if you're in AEW, you could have somebody hold the ladder for you.
People have held the ladder in WWE as well.
Not the referees.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they have. If they feel like the ladder is gonna tip over.
Really? I don't remember any
I
finish
remember
like that.
The one that I remember specifically is TLC 2006 between Edge and John Cena, where John Cena's doing the AA to Edge, and so the referees have to hold the ladder because otherwise they were both going to go over.
It was the Powerhouse Hobbs thing you're referring to was crazy, but the referees do that a lot these days, as opposed to back in the day where it was just like, "Oh, you fell? Sucks to suck."
Yeah. We're gonna have just a load of people climbing 2 ladders here.
I love this shot. I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at RVD is a fucking.
Yeah. I mean, this is purely like this is the poster shot, right? So
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Punk doing that too. Just nope.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously a good idea, but obviously you have to be very.
Oh God.
You have to be very confident it's rigged up correctly.
Look at the calamity. All the carnage in the ring.
I was going to say a rather tasteless joke there, but I'm going to hold it instead.
Oh, now I want to know.
I'll type it in chat at some point.
That'd be a fun, interesting way of doing a different Money in the Bank thing in the future. Full on pendulum. It always swings.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's big guys falling from a tall ladder. Thanks for the input.
Yeah, this is at the time where commentary is in the doldrums, like it's Babyface King and JBL.
And this is bad JBL as well. It's not like original JBL. Cole. Yeah, it's fine with him heel. He was pretty good as a commentator in the early days with Cole before he came back out of retirement.
Meanwhile, these days you have a Booker T where Vic Joseph on this last episode of NXT was like, "Oh, it's a triple bop and bang," and then a minute later, Booker's like, "Triple bop and bang." It's like you just wanted to say that, didn't you?
I like Booker. Booker, he's fun.
Oh, that ladder's gonna fall on someone. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was there.
Oh, that was really good timing. Actually, he timed the landing at the same time the ladder fell. So
he's more in sync with that than the other people are when they're all on the ladder together.
Yeah. I'm not super excited about this. To be fair, they don't seem to be super excited about anything that's happened in this match. Pretty.
Sheamus the Great White.
That was terrible. That's a really bad name for anything.
Yeah.
They tend not to call him that anymore, but they do still have White Noise as his like secondary finisher.
I mean, this is the moment that you know him the Great White.
Yeah. So this is the moment that happens like in every sort of like Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank match. One guy basically does all his moves, and then he'll get taken out and probably out for the rest of the match, and then you move on to the next guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just reach.
Shot no.
Just the nose, so great. Sheamus got to pretend like he can't do this when he very clearly can.
That's really scary.
Oh dear.
That's really scary. There's a lot that could go wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the worst kind of bump because it looked like shit and it probably hurt like hell.
Right.
It's just him sliding off the briefcase, but he has no control over it, so he doesn't really control where he lands. Ugh.
Punk pulling him down isn't like to catch him or anything. It's just, well, you're gonna crash.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the fan that's holding up the World Heavyweight Championship in this, which is not the briefcase this is up for at the moment. I get this. Oh.
I don't remember this spot, But okay, okay. Well,
Jesus
I was gonna say I don't remember the spot, but it kind of doesn't look like they can do any sort of like carrying the one guy or whatever. And yep, no, he didn't. He just fell on top of him. So never mind.
It's right on the back of his head. I do like the little William Regal wave at the end of it as well.
I am enjoying this as much as I remember enjoying it. I think it's just always nice when you have actual stars in a match.
I mean, to a degree. I mean, like, it's not bad or anything. It's just it's slow.
It's a pretty generic like there's nothing super standout about it, but it's a solid match.
Yeah, but it's 6 guys that have star value to them, so they don't need to go balls to the wall to get this match over. And for DDT.
See if I can find my my reaction to this when it had happened, what I had written out.
It's not surprising how much like Orton's like back is all over part, considering like it seems like pretty much all his offense involves him ending up on his back in some form or fashion.
Yep.
He's bleeding from the nose now.
So I had this match as the #1 highlight of the pay-per-view.
It doesn't surprise me. It's not exactly a stellar lineup for this year.
Always the way that Michael Cole and Mean Gene Okerlund are able to so easily say WWE super fast. I'm always so jealous of that.
God, RVD tried to shove that ladder right up Christian's arse there.
Ladder's escaping you, huh?
Yeah.
WWE.
In WWE history.
Oh, now the crowd wants
We want tables.
They're bored. They're bored. They want tables.
Why is that always a chant? Like, I get it. Seeing people crash the table can be a fun thing, but every single no DQ match, we want tables, we want to, as if it's the #1 most impressive thing that anybody can do. Does somebody in the crowd have a light up jacket?
Yeah, this is that time.
They made their own Jargo light up jacket?
You could buy them. Not like from WWE, but like you could buy them.
Jericho's not on this show, is he?
He is. He fought right back.
Oh God. So yeah, he would be in AEW right now. He'd be in AEW right now if that was happening.
This was Jericho's worst run. Like when he talks about like knowing that he needed to leave after being put on second with Kevin Owens, I'm like, what were you doing here then? Because
he's fighting Big Hungry. That's what he's doing. Feed me more.
That was a bully
future AEW champion
that like dumped Ricky Stark's belongings when Starks was a Oh my God!
Oh, that was good on RVD for being able to pull that off.
RVD is the fucking best.
He's got a little split open.
Oh my God!
Bit.
He's got to go right on the top of the ladder. Oh my God!
Oh God!
He's bleeding from the head as well.
He's like, hey.
Just a splash. But still.
Rob Van Dam is the fucking best.
You would have to pay me so much fucking money to do these things.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be a Jeff Hardy swan on this nowadays.
No, that price tag goes up way more with that.
Yeah. But that's yeah, I always thought RVD is like one of the most innovative wrestlers of all time.
He's the best. Like that spot right there where he just landed so smoothly on the ladder and then jumps even though he doesn't need to. So good.
Yeah.
So who's the champion right now?
John Cena.
John Cena, yes. He fought Mark Henry this night.
Yeah, this is the salmon suit.
That's around this time. I love that angle.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest angles of the time, followed by a really just nothing match.
Yeah, the match, I don't remember it being anything special, but
you always have that moment. Oh, some yes kicks.
For that matter, my reaction apparently to the match before this, the John Cena Mark Henry one, was they didn't go exactly as expected with the AA win, but it's still disappointing. Apparently, I thought that he was going to make Mark Henry take a pinfall from the AA instead of tapping out.
Yeah, well, that would involve getting Mark Henry up onto his shoulders.
Oh, jeez!
Oh my God! Does he? Can you get him a Z-Tac, please?
crazy Bryan to.
Hell yeah! See, this is a good match. I'd watch this today. Like,
yeah, it's better than we're going to get this year, probably.
I mean, this year, because it doesn't have the star value, they probably are going to go absolutely balls to the wall in the match.
That's true. Yeah. And to be fair, for anybody who's wondering, I'm a fan of every single person that's in this. Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of everybody that's in this year's ladder match. I just feel like there's no chance any of them walks away with this actually meaning a damn thing. So,
yeah, I know. I get that feeling as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that 2 weeks from now.
Whereas these guys, all these guys would be like world champion. I think outside of RVD, all these guys would be world champion again in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! What? Michael McGillicuddy?
Wait, who's? Oh, yeah.
Why? Yeah, exactly.
Why was Curtis Axel coming out? I don't remember that.
What? Yeah, what?
Oh, maybe it's because it's supposed to be a setup for CM Punk, but then Heyman's gonna swerve him.
Oh yeah. At the moment he's still aligned with Punk, so just.
Curtis Axel is one of those just oddball careers. He's Intercontinental Champion around this time. That's just,
He is the Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm.
See, that fundamentally makes me think that their plan for SummerSlam was Curtis Axel versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship.
Might have been.
And then they decided, and then John Cena came said, "No, I want him to fight for the WWE title instead." And they went, "Okay, John." Punk just takes him out.
Yeah, because they probably thought, hey, look, Daniel Bryan's getting over really well. We'll give him the Intercontinental Championship. That'll shut people up, and we'll do what we really want in the main event. And that'll boost the Intercontinental title. We'll have a good program for Curtis Axel. It's my best friend in the world.
Yeah. I was always kind of slightly curious, even though obviously Punk was super babyface at this point. We're curious about how it would have gone if they decided to align Punk and Lesnar together instead. Instead, we spend the rest of the 2013
those poor bastards!
Punk.
They wanted Lesnar. They were not getting Lesnar.
We spent most of 2013 with Punk feuding with Ryback and Curtis Axel.
Yeah. Skip forward a few years, you're going to get Lesnar in a Money in the Bank match, though.
Yeah. For like 2 minutes, and he wins it.
Right.
Without ever being announced. No explanation needed.
But then we get Boombox Brock, so.
Oh, yeah. I'd say moments.
Yeah. Not my least favorite thing that Brock ever did with the Money in the Bank briefcase, which would be completely screwing over Braun Strowman and then being like, yeah, good enough, whatever, we're done with it. I hate when they throw out the Money in the Bank like that.
He beat his ass with that briefcase.
Heyman kind of looks the same age, He hasn't aged much in 10 years.
Did he already cut the ponytail?
Yeah, look at him.
Oh, there he goes.
Colin Farrell, penguin looking ass.
That's the guy I want to win. It's my best friend. I'm going to screw him over.
he was just mad that Punk was like, I don't want to be around you anymore. Oh, he cut his head.
Oh,
He cut his head with that
yeah,
one.
that's pretty fucking gnarly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's he was not fucking around with that one.
Oh no, he still got the ponytail.
Oh,
Good for him. Good for Paul.
I showed a picture of
Unless
young
I-
Paul Heyman
Oh
the other
my-
day to
Yeah,
Caroline because I was like making fun of. I was like, why don't he just shave that horseshoe off the back of his head? And I was like, it's a lot different from the ponytail and mullet, different styles that he used to have. So I showed a picture of young Paul Heyman to her, and she was like, "That's the same guy." I'm like, "Yeah."
Hard to believe at one point he thought he looked like Michael Keaton. God, I love him.
Ooh, I love RKOs. I don't think Paul Heyman would have been a really good Batman.
Everybody delivered in this fucking match. I love that. This is great. I remember being shocked when he won this. I do think he is winning it here.
Spoiler.
yeah, good. I mean, this is
Obviously.
typically the moment. Like, it's positioned in the right way with the camera.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one else around.
Nobody manipulates a hard cam like Randy.
He's milking the moment, though.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see that? Like, nobody does this like Randy.
Now,
I
my
was actually
reaction
very
to this
excited.
on the post on the website is, not sure what they're going to do here, but I'm intrigued.
Good, that's the right attitude. What they would do is actually the best angle they would do for years and years to come.
Even if they fell into it.
There's a World War Z Igler.
The red and blue cases are better than the green case. The gold one is the best one, outside of obviously the plain black.
I don't like the red and blue.
I still miss the custom briefcases.
The custom ones would be the most fun, but I think definitely the gold tops everything else. And then I would probably go with just the standard black. I never liked the red and blue. They're too they look like they look more like toys. Yeah.
I would say my top is standard black, gold underneath that, the red, the blue, and then the green.
If we add the women's in there, women's is underneath the gold one to me. It's my second favorite.
I think I can live with that.
This is a good match.
Wasn't it? See? Like,
It was good. It's like, it's not one that I'm gonna like one that I remembered that fondly, and it's not one that I'm gonna go back and watch probably any time soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an all-time classic, but
like realistically, that was probably the biggest spot in the entire match. Was that
the Heyman strike?
Yeah, that was probably the thing that hurt the most.
It's got to be so weird when the people that are
he said it for the
For
first
what?
time ever.
for the first time. That's vintage Cole. It's got to be so weird for the people that are in these matches because they're like, yeah, we all think that they're fun, but my God, I hate being in them. Like the Elimination Chamber matches and the Hell in a Cell matches and all. People have to be like, can I just be in the Royal Rumble?
To be fair, Orton didn't really do that much in this match. That could have he barely got hit by a ladder in this entire match.
No, but that's a regular thing. If you pay attention to a lot of these Money in the Bank ladder matches, if you've got multiple people in there, they protect the one who wins just in case. They usually do about 3 spots.
If I was booking Money in the Bank ladder match, we're not going to do spots like where you're, flinging the briefcase, because I'm not taking a chance on that shit falling. Like, not having
The John Cena meme.
Yeah.
So that's the pay-per-view ending. It's already transitioning to me to a different advertisement and all. That's the 2013 All-Stars match.
one thing we didn't talk about, which I think we should, because it's so wild and it's one of those things. Bray Wyatt, 10-year-old character on the main roster, came out of this match, and it's just wild to me that character has existed for 10 years.
Shouldn't have. Oh, I watched Cape Fear for the first time the other day.
And you were like, man, Waylon Mercy was a great character.
No, I thought, man, this movie fucking blows. It's terrible. I had this impression all these years from it being like the Bray Wyatt inspiration and from obviously like the Sideshow Bob stuff on The Simpsons. I thought like, oh, this must be like a real classic. This must be really deep and psychological. It must be like kind of like Silence of the Lambs, which I absolutely love. And 2 minutes into the movie, I'm like, this movie's kind of acting silly and stupid. And throughout the whole film, I'm like, this is dumb. The acting's terrible, and the shots are garbage. And I don't want to hear Martin Scorsese complain about Marvel movies anymore after seeing that movie. So yeah, Bray Wyatt, 10 years old for this character, 10 years plus, because he had been around before this for however long.
Well, yeah, in NXT or whatever. So
yeah, so back in the old days where Eli Cottonwood, with his great mustache that he doesn't have, was a part of the Wyatt family. I want Wyatt family to come back and, that version of the character if he comes back, but we'll see about that. But the All-Stars, I'd be curious to see if they wouldn't do this necessarily right now, but if they were to do it right now, you got a lot more options that you can pick from. Obviously, you've got people like a Brock Lesnar that probably wouldn't be in the match, but like a Kofi Kingston, when he would be healthy, he would be an option now where he wouldn't have been back then. Who else do we have on the roster that wouldn't have been an option, but they would now? It would be Drew McIntyre.
Drew would have been around at that point. Jinder.
Yeah. Finn Balor would be an option. Kevin Owens.
Talking about people that
Kofi Kingston. We already had The Miz. Big E, yeah. If he's able to come back.
Lashley.
Rollins. Lashley. AJ Styles, because he wasn't in the company around then. But you mentioned Bobby Lashley. We got
Roman technically, but he'll never lose the title to the Money in the Bank ladder match anyway. So
that might be it, actually. Yeah, I think that would be it, because everybody else has not won a championship yet. So we still would be able to book a really good version of that. There are a lot of great options in there for, Kofi's great for ladder matches, and obviously Drew McIntyre, a great power guy, real tall and everything to balance out, filling in like the Randy Orton type role. I'd be curious if they did something like that, but I like it better when you've got a mix of people. I don't like when they're like, hey, it's everybody who hasn't won a title, or everybody who has won a title, and you got to like gimmick it up like that. In any fashion, though, this is the 2013 setup. As we mentioned before, we already did the Damian Sandow one, so go back and check that out. That crosses off 2013. I mean, we are rolling along with some of these Money in the Bank ladder matches where eventually we're going to kind of have to start getting into the more modern ones, I guess you could say. Well, it's 10 years. I mean, depending on how
this
you're
was technically
modern.
a modern one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the thing that we mentioned, or haven't actually mentioned, but this was the final time they did two men's ladder matches on the same show. Now after this, because
the next year would be.
Did they? The title was unified at the end of this year.
Okay, they did. You're right. They didn't do two Money in the Bank ladder matches. They did
a Money in the Bank ladder match, and then they did a title match as well.
A Money in the Bank ladder match that was just for the titles because Bryan was out.
Yeah, but essentially it's the case of because at that point the title was unified, and then the only time they go back to the two titles thing is when the women comes in.
The women.
You beat me to it. Check out a review to a kill over there on fanboysanonymous.com. Check out fanboysanonymous.com in general, everybody. If you head on over to the Blue Brand, show your love there. Subscribe to that YouTube channel and all. Check out things like, as I mentioned before, Paul Heyman as the Batman. No, I'm just kidding. Batman Blueprint Project in general. That is all like superhero related stuff. Of course, the Batman A Nighttime Story 100 records from the Wayne Foundation archives is currently being edited for Chapter 5. That has taken me quite a while, but that's an hour and 34-minute video, I think. And I think it's turning out to be maybe my favorite one so far. I think it's going to end with a bang. So check all that out. And of course, obviously do everything I mentioned before about all the, hitting the like button, the share button, subscribe, all that good stuff over there on YouTube. Obviously, if you were listening to us on like Spotify or something, then follow us there or leave a star rating on. Do they still do star ratings on the Apple Podcast thing like they used to with iTunes? I don't know. I never really check any of that stuff. It's all automated for me. I uploaded it on Anchor, and well, now that's part of Spotify, so whatever. Point being, whatever it is that you're listening to us on, thank you for listening to us. And if there's like a like button on there or something, click on all that. Make sure that you are also clicking on everything that you can see on anthonymango.com or amangotree.com. It's the same exact link. That's got a link hub for all sorts of different things from Smark Out Moment, Fanboys Anonymous, and also my personal accounts over there at Tony Mango. Make sure you're following Rob and Callum as well, though.
Yep, follow me everywhere at Dude Police. Check out my writing on Fightful and WrestleZone. DudeFleece.com, forever coming soon. Now I give you Callum.
You can find me on Twitter at Wigmeister14. You can check out the power rankings over at smarkoutmoment.com, which is the where I rank the WWE superstars from 10 to 1 on a weekly basis. And then you can also check out the Fantasy League over at Smark Out Moment or WWEFantasyLeague.com, where our teams are battling out for points every single week. So make sure you stay tuned for the latest scores as we head towards Money in the Bank.
All right, everybody. That means that we are done with this Fannounce Table. And of course, we want to thank you for listening to this and thank you for all of your support in any fashion that it might be. And stay tuned to the next episode that you're going to be hearing from us, which is going to be the next round of the hot tags coming up in 2 days on Friday. So we will talk about things like Rhea Ripley's new Women's World Championship, because that's a thing. They're really just kind of trying to fix that, but doing it in a way that's creating all sorts of new problems. And then anything else that we need to talk about that happened on Dynamite tonight, or, go back and check out the stuff from Raw and SmackDown and NXT and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for next week, where we will start getting into the next main event, which, of course, since we've got all these pay-per-views coming up every, over the course of this last end chunk of June, we got Forbidden Door. So we're getting to the Forbidden Door predictions. After that, we've got Money in the Bank and Money in the Bank predictions and post-show. When it comes to July, we're going to round things out through stuff like the Mount Rushmore of American Pride wrestlers. We're going to do a tournament of the hottest heels that are currently on the AEW and WWE rosters. And we might actually also do something that people have been talking about for a while, which is to do a top rope list of our favorite wrestlers of all time. I don't know for sure, but stay tuned and you'll find out when we want to tell you and when we can tell you and all that stuff. So thanks for listening to this, everybody, and we will see you next time. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we are being counted out.